So they found you through a hashtag or a comment you left on someone else's post. Now what? Hey everyone, my name is Sylvia and welcome to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm a social media manager and marketing coach from Portugal, and I love talking all about working as a virtual assistant or a social media manager, marketing yourself through Instagram and Upwork, and much more. So if those are topics that interest you, don't forget to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on my next video. Now, if you missed last week's video, I was talking to you about the know factor of the know, like, trust factor. So if you missed that one, I highly recommend you go watch that one first. I'll have it linked right below in the description, because today we're actually talking about the like factor, so the second part of that video. And you guessed it, next week we'll be talking about the trust factor. So once again, make sure you subscribe down below so you don't miss out on that one. Now, the know factor, really shortly summarized, is how you can cause a good first impression when people first find out about you, whether it is through social media, website, Upwork profile, you know the drill. Now, the second part of it is how you can actually get them to like you enough to stick around and consume all of your content and eventually, in the trust factor, buy from you. That being said, the like factor is extremely straightforward. You just need to get them to like you. Sounds easy, right? Now, how do you get them to like you, you ask? If you've watched any of my videos, any of my Instagram content, or anything I've talked about in these last few months, you know I'm an extreme fan of video content. And not just for the fact that I'm now, I guess, comfortable on video, but because video is such a powerful marketing tool and extremely helpful when you're trying to get people to actually like you. Because it's one thing, I've talked about this numerous times before, but it's one thing to read a full-on post of someone talking about their experience, talking about what they can do for you, talking about literally anything. It's one thing to read about it, and it's one thing to hear it from that person's mouth, hear that person explain it in their own words, and hear the way they speak about it, how excited or how passionate they are about it. And video, for that reason and for many others, is an extremely powerful marketing tool when it comes to getting people to like you and to relating to you. Now, in my opinion, once again, there's literally no better way for people to get to know the real you than through showing up on video. And I know it can be intimidating for some people. It really isn't once you start to get the hang of it. Like everything, you get better at it with practice. So I'm sorry, there's no like secret trick about getting confident on video. It's literally just showing up. You have to show up on video in order to be comfortable and confident enough to show up on video. I'm sorry. From what I know, there's literally no way around it. Please let me know in the comments if there's like a secret trick. I know some people like to imagine that they're talking to someone like behind the camera, or they like to actually sit someone behind the camera. So if you'd like to try that, by all means go ahead and let me know how that went. I never tried it. I think I would be even more intimidating if I had someone stare at me while I recorded a video. But I don't know, it may work for some of you. Side note, don't be afraid to have notes by the side of you while you're speaking, whether it is on stories or on Instagram video. Like, I can even show you right now. Like, I have my notes typed out on Trello, and I have them right beside my camera, so I'm actually looking at them now. So, a little behind the scenes for you guys. If you know me, you know my favorite way to show up on video is actually on stories. Simple, it's quick once you get the hang of it. It's more, I don't know, more raw, more real. And I even feel like it's less intimidating than, for example, recording a full-on YouTube video like I'm doing right now. Because, like, first of all, you record short snippets. So if one doesn't work, you can just throw it out the window and you can retake make it much more easily than with a whole video. And second of all, like, you literally just record it and post it. You don't have to spend time editing, and you don't have to spend a lot of time and put a lot of effort into it. And one other good thing is that it vanishes after 24 hours. I think we all know that, but something I really like to say is that if you suck in your first stories and you don't delete it for some reason, or you just find out you sucked later, I don't know, it just stays up for a limited amount of time. So it's very likely, especially if you're starting with a shorter or not so engaged following, it's very likely that a lot of people won't see it, like maybe 10 max. That may seem a bit discouraging in one way because you're recording it for nobody, but on another note, if you're still not comfortable with stories, you get to get acquainted with it with a smaller audience, if that makes sense. And one other thing I like to say to people is, if you really don't want to show up on stories, just get used to recording it and then either save it on your phone or just completely delete it. I mean, I would probably save it so I could look at it later and like reevaluate and see where I did wrong, where I could do best and everything like that. But you can just record stories and not post it. Like, it doesn't have to be that intimidating. And probably if you're recording the stories without the need or without the mindset that you're going to post it, you may let yourself a little bit loose. One other thing, because I'm getting on a side tangent, is you don't have to just record face-to-camera videos. You can record behind the scenes of your office. You can share what you're working on for the day, share like your computer screen, share the why behind your business, and for that you should sit in front of the camera, but you're talking about something that you're passionate about, hopefully. So it should be easier to talk about it rather than starting out with a sales story, because those tend to be a little bit more intimidating. Or you can even share a story time, like share why you started, that's kind of your why, but share like what led you to become a virtual assistant or a social media manager, or how you found out about the whole VA world, for example. But now, if you really are too shy or too intimidated by stories, don't let that stop you from marketing altogether. I know I've just sat here for who knows how long talking to you about how important video content is, but you can take these behind the scenes, these story time content, you can take the why behind your business and type it out on a post. You can even make a cool carousel post to make it more graphically intriguing or interesting, or you can make a video, like a video animation, so you don't have to show up on camera. You can still make it interesting, and you can still make it even video content without you showing up, if that's not something you think you can do right now. While I see the value in adding video to your marketing, I definitely don't think you should let that stop you. I don't think you should be like, okay, it's either video or nothing, and I'm going to do nothing while I get used to video, because that will be another blocker. And I can link the video down below that I did about mindset blockers. I think that's a very important one to watch if you're just starting out. Basically, I see a lot of people getting stuck on not having a website, not having a logo, and I don't want not wanting to show up on video to be another blocker. So type that out in a post, make it graphically creative or graphically fun and enjoying, because that's what social media is all about, and still show up, still put yourself in front of the people that then will start to like you and will start to relate with your content and will follow you to see more. Literally, that's what the like factor, to me at least, is all about, is getting people to relate with you, is getting people to see that your content is creative or that fits their visual style. Whichever way you find for them to like you. They may like you for your visual content, they may like you for your videos, they may like you for your story because they relate to it, but either way that you find for people to like you, it's good that you start to acknowledge it and do more of it. I know it may be a bit tricky at first and you may need to test out a few different things, but for example, for me. I feel like a lot of people come back to me for my stories, and that's probably also why I push it so hard. I know a lot of people have these major carousel posts that are incredible, and a lot of people follow them for it. So if that's your thing, I would love to see it. Like, feel free to leave your Instagram down below if that's your thing. I'm a sucker for a good carousel. But if you think stories are a thing that you should try, and I highly recommend it, especially for small brands where you're literally the face of your brand, I highly recommend you try it out. Like, don't rule it out just because you're a bit intimidated by it at first. Like, try it like for a week. I would recommend a week. Like, show up on stories every single day for a little bit. It can be just a minute, but show up, try it for a week. Once again, like, either comment down below with your handle or DM me your stories or tag me in them. I would really like to see it and maybe give you some advice to make them better. But actually, shameless plug, because I just came out with a new class on Skillshare about stories. If you're really feeling stuck, and if you've probably never even done stories, I actually just did a class about that, which is literally the Stories 101. Is like, if you want to call it Stories for Dummies, and it really goes a lot in depth about how you can create your very first story. It really navigates you through the Instagram interface, gives you some story hacks, some different functionalities of stories. I actually even have another class that I can link both down below, and you can even take them for free. Like, I'm not selling you on something. Like, you can take both of them for free with my link down below. I'm really passionate, if you can tell, about getting people on stories because it's works so well for me. But yeah, that other class that I have goes a bit more in depth about the mindset that you need to have behind stories, and really the why I'm so passionate about stories, why you should want to show up on stories. So I highly recommend watching both of those hand in hand. And if you have any questions, leave them, of course, in the comments below, and I'll make sure to answer those for you, or leave them in the comments of that class. They have a comment section as well, so I can help you out even further. But yeah, pretty much this, to sum all of this video up, video content is powerful. Stories are a great way to create video content, but if you really can't do it, find a way to show up, find a way to be fun and creative on social media. I'll see you in the next video, where I'll be talking about how to get your followers' trust so they can actually buy from you. In the meantime, don't forget to leave me a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video. Leave me any questions, any requests, or any feedback, any takeaways that you had from this video. I would love to see it. And without further ado, I'll talk to you next week. Bye. I can never end this video, so bye.